my name's Gracie and I will be your flight attendant for today's session. Today we are going to be having some rapid fire tips for those first time domestic flyers and for some actual regular travels as well. Travelers. Ugh. First, let's get this out of the way. Flying is very safe. Coming from someone who's spent a lot of her time flying, it's probably one of the safest forms of travel. Like, you can find like piles of studies dedicated to like how safe flying actually is. But you're here for the tips, so let's go there. Also, be sure to subscribe and check out some of our traveling vlogs real quick. Quick plug! So planning for your trip. Forget actually leaving. Planning for your trip is probably one of the most important parts of actually flying. This part is probably the ultimate decider whether or not you're going to have a good trip or not. So planning is very, very important. So plan ahead with your internet. I know it sounds weird and it sounds very odd place to start, but I have been stranded not once but twice because I didn't properly plan for what I was going to do about internet when I got to those locations. Once in Canada and then another time in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. What a struggle. Make sure to alert your bank that you'll be out of the country. There is nothing worse than getting your card locked off because your bank finds it sus that you're in Perth when you're supposed to be in Brisbane all the time. So trust me, it's just worth calling ahead, making sure, authorizing that. Make sure to book your seat. Decide whether or not you want an aisle seat or a window seat. So an aisle seat is the walkway, the seat closest to the aisle, and the window seat is the window closest to the window, the seat closest to the window. Usually there's about 3 seats on each side of a row, 6 seats, depending on what kind of plane you're traveling in, but it's worth booking ahead. Normally you can choose your seat during booking or you can choose it at check-in. Some airlines do it online about 48 hours ahead of time. Use Seat Guru. If you cannot decide on what seat you want to sit, go onto this website. It is absolutely fantastic. Hashtag not sponsored. But I've pretty much used it after I found it for every single one of my trips. Not only can you see the seats that you want to look at, you can see the map of layout of the plane. People also leave reviews on different types of seats like, oh, that one was a bit too close to the toilet for my liking, and this one was great, oh, this one had a dodgy back kind of idea. It's worth taking a look. Also on Seat Guru, you can find out what utilities the plane has. So like if it has charging ports or if it has like the little TV screens and stuff like that, it is worth a look. Trust me, it will save you a lot of wondering and a lot of regret. So the night before, like planning your trip the night before is also extremely essential, and this is where you get the majority of our tips. I personally have gotten into a bad habit of packing on the day of travel, but I recommend using the night before as a time to confirm that you've got everything, got all your documents, got all your clothes, nothing is missing. That's the time. So make sure to have your documents together. When domestically flying, you don't often need a passport, but it's recommended that you have maybe a couple of forms of ID. Make sure to put them all together, put it on top of your bag. So here, I'll get a bag. So I have this bag, correct? When you're packing, at the top of the bag, in your back pocket, never put it like at the front where it's obvious that you would normally put it. Put it at the top or securely on your person. That's my recommendation. Double check your itinerary, know who you're going to be meeting at the departure airport, what taxi service you're taking, even what car you're trying to hire. It's worth knowing those details before you step off the plane, because as soon as you step off the plane, it gets into like kind of like a mad rush mode and everyone's just like running around. It's super crazy. So yes, double check your itinerary. Wear comfy shoes. Not enough people realize this unless you were going like gold class or something. Even then I would still wear comfy shoes. Wear your comfy shoes. Old runners are best, something you can chuck out if need be, like if you don't fit enough stuff in your bag. Comfy shoes. Today is not the time to wear those new Gucci slides that you've just bought for the trip. That's for when you get to the location. Right now, comfy shoes keeps you alive. I have traveled in thongs or flip-flops for the Americans, but I recommend against it, even though I'd probably do it again. So yes, wear comfy shoes. Your feet are probably your most important asset while you're traveling. Decide how many bags you are going to take on your trip. I have traveled domestically with everything from just a backpack to I've had a camera bag, a suitcase, a laptop bag, as well as like those travel pillow thing. It just gets a little bit hectic. As hard as you try, you always end up carrying like 15 different things. Like you've got your jacket over your arm, you've got your phone in your hand, your passport, even though we don't usually use passports, in another hand, you've got your neck warmer thing around your neck. Also, you're trying to like juggle a camera bag as like, it just gets too much. Just try and keep it to the minimum. I recommend one like carry-on bag and then your other bag, and that is it. Stop there. Yeah, it's not worth it pretty much. Also, as another quick side note, always carry your valuables in the cabin with you. So if you have like a fancy camera or like memorabilia that's really close to your heart, always take it in the cabin if possible. I've had stories of people sitting on 5-hour flights with like their cameras in their lap and it's like, well, I appreciate your commitment, it's worth doing it kind of idea. There's been too many times where my bags have ended up on the other side of the world. Essential stuff I needed inside them as well. So just carry it with you. Following from the last tip, do not overpack, especially with clothes pretty much. I am that traveler that plans way too much. Oh, I need like 4 outfits for each day. Oh, what if I have like a meeting with the Queen and I need a dress kind of idea? Don't bother. Just don't do it. I've gotten a tip which has really helped me out. It's pack everything that you need, pack everything that's on your list, halve it, so half, and then halve it again. And then you've got what you need. Aside from that, it's just extra weight, and it's better to have more room in your bag so that you can bring back souvenirs you like anyway. Like, come on. Always bring your headphones. Noise cancelling ones are the best. That's pretty much on every tips page. But do not leave your home without headphones. Maybe even, I take like usually like 4 sets on a trip. Any given trip, I'll have 4 sets of headphones in my bag. If you have to buy headphones while you're at the airport, just do not board the plane without headphones. You'll legitimately be surprised how loud the interior of an airplane is. It's like all the time. It's just like, bro, you need some music to go over that. Also, check your carry-on is the right size. A lot of airport and airplane lines have different like size requirements. I think the general one in Australia is like 7 kilos with 40 by 40 centimeters or something like that. Make sure your carry-on fits your requirements. I think sometimes you can sneak like 1 or 2 bags on, but you got to be like kind of about it. But yes, there is nothing worse than going to the gate and they're like, hun, that doesn't fit our specs. And so you got to run all the way back out to the front, book your stuff in. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Just make sure, plan ahead, all good. Plan to arrive early. I live about 15 minutes away from the closest airport. So when I'm traveling for a trip, I'll usually search up about the same time about what the traffic looks like, and I'll try and plan from there. So I'll say, well, it takes 50 minutes without traffic, so, and then an hour and 10 with traffic. So I'll allocate another half an hour just in case if it's really bad traffic or something happens, we're running late, etc. So that's usually about like an hour and 40 minutes of dedicated travel. Your airline usually wants you there at about 45 minutes before your flight or before your flight starts loading everyone in. I allocate an extra half an hour to that, so that's an hour and 15 on that side and an hour and 40, so about 3 hours. And then, so I say 3 hours between when when the plane leaves and when we're supposed to go, and then 15 minutes before that we should have everything loaded. So 3 hours and 15 minutes ish roughly, you should have everything in your car ready to go. You're just doing final things like checking the house is locked up, etc. That's pretty much worked for me all the time. I know international flights you need longer, but yeah, that's the way the world works. It's better to be early than late, pretty much. I've never been late for any one of my flights, and even then they usually try and rush you through just in case. But it's nice to have that extra time at the airport, like to go around and look at the shops and get some food, maybe a coffee or two, just to settle down, especially for your first time. Another great tip, know your luggage. Know every single thing in your luggage. Know what's going on, what's in there, what could be in there, etc. Even if you have to dump out your backpack on the grass and search through every single little thing, it's better to know than not to know, because sometimes the security may ask you, oh, is this your bag? Do you know what's inside? Kind of idea. And if you're like, yeah, kind of, that's an immediate red flag for them. And then you're gonna get pulled aside, and trust me, you're gonna get some extra screening that you don't want to do, kind of idea. So it's better to know your luggage rather than not know it. Remember the rules for flying: no liquids over 350 mil, I think the rule is. No explosive, no guns, no scissors, no razors, no nuclear waste, stuff like that. Just familiarize yourself before you walk into the airport with your knives and your scissors and your guns. clean. Even though if you're not American, I recommend the TSA, so Travel Safety America's Instagram page. And it's pretty much this Instagram page dedicated to all the weird things the TSA finds in passengers' bags. Everything's from like hand grenades to like batarangs, and you get weird stuffs in there, and it's just like, yeah, it's a great Instagram page for a couple of laughs and to familiarize yourself with what's allowed and what's not allowed. Also, on the previous point, if you are bringing liquids in like moisturizer, foundation, etc., put all of them in like a Ziploc bag. This has really helped me out. You put it on the top of like your backpack, so at the top of all your stuff, pretty much. And so when you get to the security checkpoint, you can be like, here's all my stuff, and it's nice and easy, and so the people don't behind you get like annoyed or whatever, because they have such a limited like patience. Their pool of patience just disappears. On the topic of liquids as well, make sure to pack an empty water bottle. Do not fill it up, because otherwise they're going to either, and this is the same with all liquids, otherwise they're going to ask you to chug it at the gate or empty it out. And I've heard stories of people chugging like bottles of alcohol at the gate, and then they weren't allowed on their flight. Just fill it up once you get inside to the airport. There's little bubblers, or just ask the people inside the airline to fill it up inside the airplane to fill your bottle up. Also, back to the bag idea, have all your electronics together in a bag. Me, as a video person, I travel with a lot of suspicious looking like wires and leads and stuff like that. It's gonna freak any security agent out. So what I do is I chuck them in a Ziploc bag at the top of my bag as well. And when I come to the security checkpoint, just pop it down. It's all good to go. That way you're not like digging through your bag and you don't miss anything. That looks really sus. I do this for like my chargers, for my cords, my HDMI cords, like my audio recording and stuff like that. Just pop it all in the bag. The only thing I don't really put in the bag is like my camera or like my phone, like my laptop, bigger stuff, because you've got to put that in its own tray. Also keep in mind that you'll need to pull out stuff like iPads, phones, laptops, belts, shoes with metal in them into a separate tray container thing. Just be aware, be ready for that. My final recommendation for the security gate, do not get stressed out. If you're feeling a little stressed out, just take a deep breath. Don't be afraid to make eye contact. A little smile goes a long way kind of idea. They are looking for criminals and terrorists, and to the best of my knowledge, you're not in those classifications. They're just trying to look for people who are going to do harm to others. You're just trying to get to your gate. Also, don't be anxious or worried if you do get pulled to the side and if they ask to do a check. When I'm traveling solo or even with someone else, I always get pulled over because I look sus, I guess. I'm a little bit cut, but I guess I look sus. And so it's very common, they just need to fill a quota. So it's all good, nothing personal, I hope. When at the airport, congratulations, you have made it. You've zipped through security, you've stumbled through your check-in, and now you've got some time to browse around before you get to your airplane. Just keep in mind that airplanes often start loading about 15 to 20 minutes before they take off, so be prepared to be there. Or you'll get squared and be left on the ground pretty much. So tips. Airports often have Wi-Fi. Utilize this. Download some books, some videos, entertainment for the plane. I went to one of the shops one time and I got myself like a mini drawing kit, and that was like really cool, and that kept me entertained for the 3 hours. Walk around. Unless your plane is boarding in like the next 15 minutes, use this time to like look around, get some cool stuff. Maybe even have a coffee or a meal. Time's yours kind of idea. Get some snacks for the plane. It's kind of like a stereotype at this point, but plane food is not that great. It kind of tastes a little gross. It's mostly to do with biology and stuff like that, but it still tastes gross. Get some snacks. I usually get a couple of lollies, some chewies, stuff like that. My final recommendation when you have some time to do is get some gum. Pretty much my schedule for getting onto a plane is I get a chai, nice and chilled out, and then I get a box of Tic Tacs and I get 2 Mentos bars. Well, the reason for that is when we are moving up into the sky, your ears are going to be adjusting to different pressures, and it's kind of actually a little bit painful sometimes. So to help combat this, if your like jaw is like rotating, like stuff like that, you're usually better off. So while we're lifting off, I'm usually like chewing on like a whole bar of Mentos or like Tic Tacs and stuff like that. Makes life a lot easier. On the plane, yes. Well done, you have made it. Here is our tips for while you're on the plane. When you're on the plane, depending about where you're seated, it usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to board everyone, check all the doors. They do like an air safety announcement. They're like, the doors are here and this is how you put on a life jacket just in case if we go swimming kind of idea. It's interesting. And New Zealand has really cool videos. They're really cute. They're all fun. Use this time to have a quick chat to the people next to you. So lady on the side, the guy on the other side, just have a quick chat, ask them what they're doing, where they're going to, if this is a holiday or if they're returning home and stuff like that. If you make these personal connections, it makes that awkward moment where you have to ask them to like squish over so you can go to the toilet a little bit easier, a little bit less awkward. They're usually a lot nicer. Unless you have upgraded your seat, be mentally prepared that you will be squished. Airlines love to squish in as many people as possible. It's squishy unless you've upgraded anything. Be prepared for that squishiness. If you can, put some of your luggage in the overhead locker. If I'm flying international, usually I chuck most of my stuff up in the locker except for like my phone or a laptop and my lollies. Once the plane starts moving, start chewing on that gum. It works. Trust me on that. Do some breathing exercises as well. If you're feeling like anxious or a little bit worried, just like use this time to master meditation. Normally I shoot up a quick prayer and then I usually do my same old breathing exercise, which is 4 counts in, hold for 7, so, and then out for 8, so. That usually, like, if you repeat that long enough, you usually like chilled out enough to be able to get up into the sky. If you are truly anxious about it, I don't recommend medicating on your first trip. Just try going with that medication for the first time. You don't want to be relying on that. Aside from that, enjoy the flight. Make sure to get up and walk around as much as possible, you know, because there are like diseases related to sitting too long down for like low pressure. So I usually get up and do 2 laps for every hour and then like 1 lap every hour after 2 hours. Kind of idea. Just keep general active. Maybe just use it as a toilet break. See some other people be like, oh hi, how's it going? Kind of idea to the person next to you. I don't know. If you're not up and around, make sure to have your seatbelt on just in case. Just in case. Just a safety thing. So that's all our travel tips. Be sure to subscribe for more traveling content and we'll see you on the next video.